Hey everyone, what is going on? And of course, you know we have more Ultra League battles in the Go Battle League, but first I wanted to personally thank each and every one of you for helping me reach 8,000 subscribers. You know, when I started this YouTube journey, I had no idea that I would even come close. I just wanted to upload videos for fun, and it is fun, and 8,000 of you enjoy watching it, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me that you interact with me each and every day, whether it be in the comment section or on Twitter or on my personal Discord. I really do appreciate it, and I am excited to announce that I will be doing a massive giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. Now I know we're not there quite yet, it's going to take a little bit more time, but we'll get there eventually, and I cannot wait for that. And it's a way to say thank you for all you've done for me by subscribing and watching the content. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, we're going ahead and using a new team in this video. I do have Cresselia, Poliwrath, and Swampert, and I wanted to give a huge shout out to my friend for the battles. I did see one of her battles, one or two battles on her Twitter featuring Cresselia, and I really liked how it performed. I really liked how she used it, so I wanted to try it out myself, and I always wanted to use a Cresselia. Now, honestly, I've never used Cresselia before, ever, even in the Great League, because I don't have one. It's just a Pokemon I've never used, so I definitely do make some mistakes, some of which I've noticed immediately after making them, and some that maybe I didn't pick up on yet, and that's okay. I think we go 3-2 in 2 sets in this video. I think that's what it was, and also, I mean, 3-2, that boosts our rating, right? So that's pretty good, but yeah, overall, love the performance of Cresselia, and I cannot wait to try it again. This is a decent PvPIV Cresselia. It was the best one I had. All the others were really bad, so I just went with it. It's a beautiful shiny. So, yeah, and I mean, there's no harm in having it. Even if I decide not to continue using it, there's no harm in having it. It's a good Pokemon for the Ultra League, right? Definitely super tanky. Believe me, guys, it can take hits for days. Cresselia can definitely take a lot of hits. So as you can see, we're almost done with the first battle. He is going to go ahead and get off a charge attack with that Swampert. I'm just going to allow Cresselia to go down. We're super weak already. And then I'll bring in my own Swampert. We still have a shield, so I'm going to go ahead and safely shield this. And I'll be able to beat him to a Hydro Cannon, which is going to knock out that Swampert. And we're going to be able to take this game. So yeah, I'm using Cresselia as the lead, I believe, in every single game. You could use it as a safe switch. I think it's a relatively safe switch. Obviously, you have to watch out for dark Pokemon like Alolan Muck, but I think it's a pretty safe switch. Registeel is not good against it either. But anyway, the next matchup, they're using Dragonite. I do have my Cresselia, so this is huge for us because that Moonblast is going to do a lot of damage to Dragonite. Obviously, he might be fearing Aurora Beam, so he's probably going to shield this as he doesn't want to take all that damage. That would have done a load of damage to Dragonite, maybe even knock it out. So the Dragonite will use an Outrage. It does good damage. We're able to take it with Cresselia and switching to try and catch that Moonblast. I do decide to stay in with my shiny Cresselia and just go for the Future Sight. So that's going to do a lot to Blastoise. Trying to get to another one before he does knock us out, we're able to do so. So, I kind of goof and I don't get the Excellent, I only get the Great. And if I had gotten the Excellent, I could have knocked that out with the incoming Psycho Cuts. But that is okay because we bring in Poliwrath, and because we did not knock out the Blastoise, we could farm up this Poliwrath a little bit. And we're going to just get lots of energy. Poliwrath can flip a lot of matches, even if it normally loses. It could win if it has an energy advantage. I'm looking at you, Giratina. So in comes that Dragonite. Poliwrath easily going to be able to win this because that Dragonite is double weak to Ice Punch. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Ice Punch right now, expecting to knock out the Dragonite, but he does decide to shield. Totally makes sense. He does switch, trying to catch the Ice Punch. I do go ahead and go for the Dynamic Punch, and this is just going to soften up that Steelix because Steelix is super bulky, so I want to be able to come in and go for a Hydro Cannon to knock out the Swampert. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be able to knock out the Swampert right now with Hydro Cannon. And back comes that Dragonite, yeah, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and go for a Hydro Cannon. Now, Dragonite does resist Hydro Cannon, of course, but 2 Hydro Cannons are going to be enough. And it looks like my opponent's just going to back out from that game, so really well played. So let's go ahead and jump into the next game. I do lead with that beautiful shiny Cresselia into the Armored Mewtwo. Now, I know that Cresselia resists both of Armored Mewtwo's attacks, Psy Strike, right, as well as Dynamic Punch. Armored Mewtwo has Earthquake, and I am hit with an Earthquake, but I don't know if it's this battle. Either way, he does go ahead and switch into Alolan Muck. That's beautiful for me because I'm going to go ahead and be able to get off some damage and then pull the switch into Poliwrath. Going for a Dynamic Punch, and it almost knocks it out. We feint him without him getting off a charge attack. That is huge. So in comes Armored Mewtwo. Obviously, Confusion's going to do a lot to us. Ice Punch is not going to do a lot, to Armored Mewtwo, but Poliwrath already did its job, so we're just going to continue to add up damage. And if he wants to commit to farming me down, I wasn't sure if he would, we would get a load of damage off against this Armored Mewtwo. As you can see, it's already really weak. We're going for another Ice Beam, not Ice Beam, I keep on calling it Ice Beam, it's Ice Punch against this Armored Mewtwo, and he does go ahead and go for the Psy Strike right now, realizing that I would have gotten him really low, if not knocked him out before he knocked me out. So in comes Cresselia, and we're going to go ahead and take this attack. I'm expecting Psy Strike or Dynamic Punch. It is Psy Strike, of course. We're able to easily take that. In comes Giratina, and I'm like, you know what? Cresselia can actually go toe-to-toe with this Giratina because we do have that Moonblast. So Moonblast will be shielded. Totally fine. He still has one shield. Do I decide to shield this? Let's see. I don't. So I go ahead and take the attack because I knew I could take it, and I knew I could get to a Moonblast. So I'm going to go ahead and successfully get to that Moonblast, and this will not be enough to knock out the Giratina. It's so bulky, but he does decide to shield. Totally fine. I'm actually going to allow Cresselia to go down, and that's because I know that all I need is 2 Earthquakes from Swampert to knock out the Giratina, and he's not going to be able to get to multiple charge attacks. Well, he'll be able to get to multiple charge attacks, but we still have 2 shields, so it's not really going to matter. So I am going to go ahead and start investing in my shields right now, so we do go ahead and block that. And I'm just charging up. This is a Dragon Breath variant, so it does take longer to get to the charge moves than if he had Shadow Claw. So there's the one Earthquake, and now all I need is basically a Hydro Cannon. We don't even need that Earthquake to be able to knock out Giratina. So I am going to go ahead and block that Dragon Claw, and he actually pulls the switch. So that was a really nice switch on his end. Going to be that Armored Mewtwo, but we knock him out, and we're able to get to the Hydro Cannon, and this is going to be enough to knock out that Altered Form Giratina. So saving the shields for late game, but it does work out for us, and we're able to take that win. I think I actually forgot that he still had Armored Mewtwo left in the back as I was playing this, but it's okay. So we're going up against an Ice Fang Feraligatr. So very interesting, very cool pick. And we'll see what happens. I am going to go ahead and go for my Future Sight. Just want to get damage off against this Feraligatr. I know that Feraligatr carries Crunch, so obviously Cresselia does have to watch out for that. But because of how tanky we are, we know we could take it. So we're able to easily take that. Trying to get to Future Sight, we actually get to one. So Cresselia definitely wins this matchup. Will he decide to shield? Let's find out. He does. So we do go ahead and take that shield. Totally fine. Going to go ahead and get to that Crunch. I will shield this one because I want to get to a Future Sight and knock out the Feraligatr so I can win Switch advantage. So I am going to go ahead and get to the Future Sight, and this will be enough to knock out Feraligatr unless if he invests his last shield, which he does. So that's fine. Is he going to try and farm me down? He probably won't be able to. He does get to another charge attack. I'm going to let it go through because I don't think I can make it to a Future Sight. So honestly, he probably could have fainted me down, but he didn't want to take the chance. It makes sense. So I'm going to bring in my Poliwrath to farm up energy against this Feraligatr. We did lose Switch advantage, but we're still up a shield, and I'm going to be able to take Hydro Cannon or Crunch, so we're going to be able to take that and just charge up. Look how much energy. We have a loaded Poliwrath. In comes that Armored Mewtwo, and I was like, oh no. I did not want to see Armored Mewtwo because our attacks are just not doing anything to it. Well, it's not doing much. So we switch. He switches into Poliwrath. Definitely not good for us. Perhaps I shouldn't have switched into Swampert, but I mean, my Ice Punches were not doing anything to that Armored Mewtwo, right? So we do get off the Earthquake, and it does do a lot. We're going to take this attack. It will be a Dynamic Punch, but Swampert is able to take it. Trying to get to the Hydro Cannon, we do get to it. I wasn't sure if this would be enough to knock out the Poliwrath. I was hoping it would be. It is. Actually, it's not. But we are able to farm him down. In comes that Armored Mewtwo, and we do get to the Hydro Cannon, which is really huge for us. So yeah, our Swamp is going to be knocked out. I should have switched right there immediately so he couldn't get an extra confusion in. So that was my mistake. So I do go for the Ice Punch against this Armored Mewtwo. And we still have a shield, so obviously I'm going to go ahead and shield this attack up. We're trying so hard to get to this Ice Punch, but he has another one ready to go, so it wouldn't have mattered. He farmed up too much energy with that Armored Mewtwo. But really good game. Really good game. Very close as well. So we're going to go ahead and lose that one. Man, that Armored Mewtwo really got me. It's such a good Pokemon. I'll be using that as well. So I lead with my Cresselia against Registeel. So this is not a good matchup for us because Registeel is going to be able to resist all of our charge attacks. Meanwhile, it's going to be throwing not super effective damage, but neutral damage with Flash Cannon. So unfortunately, he actually has a Cresselia in the back of his own, and that is going to definitely be able to beat Poliwrath. So definitely not a good start for us, but we're going to go ahead and just continue to throw these ice punches. And as you can see, guys, I mean, the lead definitely is, because if he led with something else and not Registeel, something that Cresselia could maybe handle, right, it would definitely be a different situation, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen. I mean, you might be able to beat teams, but if they lead with something that directly counters what you lead with, you're not going to have a good time. Leads are not the only thing that matters, but they definitely do matter. And I found that it mattered quite a bit in the Ultra League as well when I've been battling. For example, I lead Poliwrath, they lead Cresselia. I switch into, let's say, Registeel, they switch into Poliwrath. But if they had led something that, was weak to what I led with, then they would switch first, and then I would switch, and I would be at the advantage. You guys get what I'm saying? And I know we've always known that, because this is how PvP in Pokemon Go has always been. So it definitely makes sense. But it's a little bit unfortunate, I guess. It could go either way, but of course you can come back from bad leads, so I'm not saying you can't win, but either way I do go ahead and farm him down. Unfortunately, I know Registeel is coming in, so I do switch into my Swampert to catch the Flash Cannon. So we do catch that, which I guess is good, but he's going to bring in Giratina, and he still has 2 shields. There's really nothing I could do. This might be a game I back out on. I'm not sure. Let's see. I do go for the Earthquake, hoping he decides not to shield. He doesn't. Wow, he keeps being the shields. I just decided to back out. Yeah, so I did back out in that game, so good game. But yeah, definitely wasn't anything I could do. For the next matchup, I'm leading with my Cresselia versus a Togekiss. Now, this does favor Cresselia, I believe. I wasn't sure at the time. I think Cresselia does win this one. I am going to go for the Future Sight. Yeah, Cresselia definitely wins, because Future Sight is enough to double KO it, but he does decide to shield, so that's totally cool. I am going to go ahead and take this attack. I know it's going to be an Ancient Power, and I know Cresselia is bulky enough to take it. And we do get to a Future Sight. Now, I wasn't sure at the time if I could reach another Future Sight and knock out the Togekiss, but obviously we're going to try to. We're trying to get to it so hard before Charm faints us down. We're able to do so. So, he lost the shield and his Pokemon, so that's huge for us. So, Togekiss goes down. He could have committed the second shield and fainted us down with Charm, but I guess he didn't want to. So, let's see what comes in. Going to be that Registeel, and I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to go down, I guess. In comes that Giratina. So, I don't have a huge answer to Giratina, I guess. I mean, I do have the Swampert. I am going to go ahead and bring it in. I want my Poliwrath to go up against Registeel, although Swampert would have been good against Registeel as well. But the Earthquake just does a lot of damage to Giratina. It does about 50%. So, I'm going to go ahead and go straight for it. I wanted him to think maybe it would be a bluff, but he does decide to shield, so nice shield on my opponent's end. I still have 2 shields. I know I could take this attack. I do want to get off at least one more Earthquake against this Giratina. I was thinking I would need to use one of my shields, and I do, so I am going to go ahead and shield it right now. That would have been enough, I believe. Pretty sure that would have been enough, but we do get off the Earthquake against this Giratina, and that will do a lot of damage. And now I'm trying to get to a Hydro Cannon. We actually get to it. I don't know if he was trying to farm us down, or maybe he didn't get to his Dragon Claw yet. That's not going to be enough, but I guess he does farm us down. And now my Poliwrath is going to come in, and I know I could take this attack. It's going to be that Dragon Claw, excuse me. And in comes the Registeel. So I have to get to two dynamic punches, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I am going to go ahead and take this. I was expecting a Flash Cannon, to be honest with you, so I didn't shield that. Probably should have shielded it. I thought it was going to be a bait. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get to a Dynamic Punch, and now we just need to get to one more. Can we do it? We can't before this charge attack comes out, so I am going to go ahead and shield this one up. Going to be that Flash Cannon, and we do get to the Dynamic Punch. I should have overfarmed because I need an Ice Punch for the Giratina. So I knock out the Registeel, and in comes, that Giratina is about to come in any moment now. So the Giratina comes in, and it does get to a charge attack. And is this going to be enough to finish off Poliwrath? I think it is. It is. So as you can see, definitely made a mistake in this battle. I should have definitely overfarmed with Poliwrath, maybe to get to an Ice Punch for the Giratina, and I also should have used my shield to block the Focus Blast coming in from that Registeel against my Poliwrath. So definitely made a mistake, but it is what it is. We learn from those mistakes. So anyway, the next battle, I have my Cresselia in against the Norman Mewtwo, and it's beautiful for us because, as I said, we resist the Dynamic Punch and the Psy Strike, the most common moveset on Armored Mewtwo. However, this Mewtwo has Earthquake, and he's going to go for it now, or she's going to go for it now. I was not expecting Earthquake, I got to be honest, but was still able to easily take it. So it's like I wouldn't have shielded it anyway, even if I expected the Earthquake. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Moonblast to try and knock out this Armored Mewtwo. We do successfully knock it out, so that's good for us. In comes Alolan Muck, going to switch into my Poliwrath. And in comes her Poliwrath, so she is going to go ahead and go for a charge attack, expecting that Dynamic Punch. It will be Dynamic Punch, but we know Poliwrath can take it, and we're going to go ahead and fire back with a Dynamic Punch, so that Poliwrath can take it as well. She's not going to go ahead and shield, neither am I. Do I decide to shield this? I don't. I call the Ice Punch bait. It's going to be a Dynamic Punch. It still doesn't knock us out, though, and we get to another Dynamic Punch. Honestly, I was expecting her to bait me with Ice Punch, but we still were able to survive it, so that's good. Trying to get to a last-minute Ice Punch, we're actually able to do so. I didn't think I would be able to, but we do get to it, so not going to do much, but it adds up. So the Poliwrath does knock us out. Totally fine. I bring in my Cresselia. Going to go ahead and let this attack go through. It's going to be an Ice Punch, of course. It is. Able to take it. Another Ice Punch comes in, but Cresselia is so tanky, it's actually able to take it as well. So, as you can see, we take it, and we get to the Moonblast. Psycho Cut is not... the Future Sight, excuse me. Psycho Cut is not really an attack that you want to try and farm down with. But either way, in comes that Alolan Muck, and I do pull the switch a little bit late. Couldn't get it through right away. So, I had my Swampert in against this Alolan Muck. So, I do go ahead and shield. We're charging up. Another Dark Pulse comes in. I might as well use my shields. I know the attacks are going to be Dark Pulse. There's no reason to go for Sludge Wave or Gunk Shot, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon, hoping to pick up the last shield. And she does not shield, so that's unfortunate for me. Could have knocked it out with an Earthquake, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and definitely take that shield with this Hydro Cannon. So we just need one more. It's going to be a Dark Pulse, but I know Swampert can live a Dark Pulse, and we're going to be able to get to that Hydro Cannon afterwards. If she got to another Dark Pulse, she would have won, but we're able to get to the Hydro Cannon. We're able to knock out this Alolan Muck. So, really good game. Really good game. And we're able to win that one. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump into the next game in just a moment. I am going to go ahead and lead with that Cresselia against the best buddy Registeel. So, that's really cool to see. Really cool to see that ribbon. Right now, I do have my Poliwrath against the Registeel, and looks like he's just staying in. He's going to go for a charge attack. Going to be that Focus Blast. I do go ahead and take that attack because Poliwrath can take it. So I will go for the Dynamic Punch, and he will actually go ahead and shield and switch into Swampert now. So I could have... you know what? I should have went for that Dynamic Punch. I don't know why I didn't. I really should have, but it's okay. So either way, we're going to go ahead and take a charge attack right now. And it's going to be a Hydro Cannon, but because of how bulky Poliwrath is, we could take that. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Dynamic Punch right now. This Dynamic Punch will be shielded, so at least we took both of his shields. I will bring in my Cresselia, and I know Cresselia is bulky enough, you guys know it, to be able to take Hydro Cannons, so we're going to be able to take these Hydro Cannons. Expecting a couple of them. Here comes another one. We just need one Future Sight, which should be enough to knock out that Swampert easily. So we're going to go ahead and be able to, well, we get to it, but looks like he gets another one off. So that's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're super low with Cresselia right now. Gonna go ahead and go for the Future Sight. And this will definitely be enough to knock out that Swampert. He still has 2 Pokemon. In comes that Registeel. I do switch into my Swampert. And it looks like, let's see what's going to happen. That Giratina is going to go ahead and, well, we're going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake. And that will do a lot to the Origin form Giratina. This is not the altered form, not the bulky one. We need to get to a Hydro Cannon. We have 2 shields, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this attack. Going to be an Ominous Wind. And I do go ahead and charge up to an Earthquake. I should have went for that Hydro Cannon immediately, but I decided to charge up extra energy, but it's only an Ominous Wind. And now I farm up a little bit more and just go for the Hydro Cannon right now, which should be enough to knock out the Origin form Giratina, as it is. In comes Registeel, but I will go ahead and shield this attack. Flash Cannon would be enough to knock me out. And I am going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake, which is not going to be enough to knock out that Registeel, although it's close. I bring in my Cresselia. He does get to a Flash Cannon. This will knock out Cresselia, but I know he's not going to be able to farm me down with Lock On. There's no way. So I bring in my Swampert and just knock it out with Hydro Cannon. Well, actually, Fast Moves. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. See you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, check out one of my other videos that you'll probably enjoy.